Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We are excited to have a special guest today, and I am going to share my screen here. So today we are doing Ask the Expert, which we have done once before, but it's been quite a while. Today we're going to be talking all about social media, specifically for window treatment and awning companies, and quite honestly, just in general, some all kinds of social media things that you can do for your business to get more engagement, get more traffic to your site, get more eyeballs on your information. My name is Will Henke. My company is Window Treatment Marketing Pros. We're veteran family owned, and we've been doing this for over 23 years, and excited to bring some cool information to you. I do have a book called Your Internet Marketing Plan for Window Treatment Companies. If you have not received a copy of this book, make sure that you go to wtmarketingpros.com and get yourself signed up for a free one. I've got the envelope sitting here. I've got a box of books sitting here. All I need is your address. So I'll get those out to you right away. And it's a great way to go through and really start optimizing your site to get more traffic, to get more of those eyeballs we're talking about. This is another training in our monthly training, which we do, of course, every month, and we have done for several years now. It's part of our what we call our digital dominance method, and this, of course, is the social media piece of this, and very excited to bring this to you. If you want to look at any of our past trainings that we've done, we have them all at wtmarketingpros.com/training. You can find all kinds of cool stuff out there, from SEO to Google My Business to local SEO to social media. So lots of things out there that you can learn and watch videos, and they're all free, which is great. So before I introduce Mich, I just want to say one last thing. When we're kind of going through this, I want everybody to pitch their questions to us. And the way we're going to do that is there should be a Q&A button actually on your screen there where you can type in questions, and then I can pitch those to Mich and have her answer those. There's also a chat there. I'm going to try to monitor the chat as well, but I might miss your question in the chat. So make sure that you use the Q&A function to get those questions over to her. And without any further ado, Mich Hancock, I've known Mich for quite a while. She has a company called 100th Monkey Media, and got a cool little logo there. And we've been friends for a long time, and I'm excited to have her on today. So Mich, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Will. I appreciate it. And I love talking to all the window treatment peeps. I'm probably going to be calling some of you soon because I'm moving and I need window treatment. So I might be a client. You never, I have huge windows too in this new place. Right. So we'll see.
Right. Too funny.
But thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So so that's my little spiel. Let's go ahead and get into any questions that maybe you might have. I've got a couple that I can pitch to you as well, and then I'll be watching the chat along the way. If anybody does put anything extra in there, we'll just kind of go on the fly, if that's okay with you.
Sounds good to me. Ask away, or I can just start talking.
Yeah. So you know what? Let's just talk quickly about some general rules. So okay. I know you should have a Facebook page. For window treatments, you should probably have an Instagram account.
Yes, definitely.
Maybe a Pinterest account, right?
That would be good.
Yeah, yeah. Also, when it comes to commercial, if you're doing commercial window treatments, then you're going to want to be on LinkedIn, right? So let's talk just real quick about the different platforms. There's probably some I missed. My favorite, TikTok, which I know nothing about.
I was going to say, they probably don't need TikTok yet.
Right.
But as a lot of these things go, I mean, they first come out and there's early adopters, and a lot of these platforms eventually figure out how to make it work for businesses. That I understand TikTok is not there yet, so we don't have to worry about that. But the rest of them, yes. Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest would be my top picks for window treatments and awnings. And the reason being is, well, first of all, you're going to want to have a lot of visuals.
Yes.
right? I mean, it's very visually, that's the thing. You want it to catch people's eyes so that they want to learn more about you. And it also shows you as an expert when you are continually updating your pages and showing off the work that you've done, right? And so that's a big part of it. But that makes you happy, and it makes people happy when they come visit you, that you're showing up and that you show that you are a viable business that is, doing what it needs to do. I feel crooked. I'm crooked with my head. And it's opposite to me. So it feels really, I'm like, let's say, I'm not crooked now. I don't want to be crooked. It would be bad for the window treatment people. They don't do crooked things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need everything in line. So that would not be well. All right. So now I'm not crooked. So for Facebook, the reason why you want to do Facebook, other than just to show up, is people are going to want to look at you digitally first before they pick up the phone. We all know that's the way it is now. So if they go to a Facebook page and see that the last post was in 2013, they're going to think, this place probably isn't really, still in business, or they're not really keeping up. So that I say that because, we generally like people to put out posts every day. But if you absolutely don't have time, if you're at least doing it once a week, you show that you're keeping up a bit. Of course, the more posts you put out, the more people can see them and all that good stuff. We know how consistency goes. Facebook and Instagram. And so Instagram is way more visual. And one of the things that the difference is, even though they are owned by the same company, so I don't know if people know that Facebook and Instagram's owned by Facebook, but on a Facebook post, you can put a link that will go to somewhere. So you're talking about a specific type of window treatment, you put a link, off you go to that page, or meet our team, you go to that page. On Instagram, you cannot put links in posts. So you want to refer people at times to the link in the bio. And sometimes we'll change the links in the bio. Like if one of our clients have a webinar coming up, or a special event, or some kind of a sale that they want, they'll say, check out the link in our bio, so that people know, oh, that's where I can go find out more information.
So you only get one link, and you kind of have to play with it a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, you do. The other thing though is, like both Facebook and Instagram have the direct messaging that you can set up, the automatic messaging, because people are beginning to utilize these pages more and more for customer service. So sometimes, for some of our clients, it makes sense for us to put some kind of an automatic message, and no matter where you put it, Facebook or LinkedIn, you can actually include a link in your automatic message, even on Instagram, just so you know that.
Okay.
Right? So, and I will tell you, since we've been doing this, and it's been over 10 years, the customer service aspect just keeps growing and growing and growing. So yes, the automatic messages are great, but you do want to have human eyes, because sometimes people aren't asking, it's like frequently asked questions, right? People will actually message the page and go, where are you located? Because it's too difficult to put it in Google. So, so it's a good idea for us to have an automatic message like, hi, thanks for, contacting us. To learn more, here's this page, here's the, information that you think, generally speaking, that's what most people are going for. But sometimes people have a very specific inquiry, or they're having some kind of issue and they need to talk to somebody. So you want to have eyes on that page, so that a real human being at some point is saying to them, hi, Joe, got it. I'm going to put this information in front of management, or will you share your contact information with us so that we can reach out to you? So human beings still have a place in this digital world, believe it or not.
I like that.
It's so true. Yeah.
Yes. So what about Pinterest?
So Pinterest, like Instagram, Pinterest is just pictures, and pictures, right? And so again, it's a way for you to showcase your work and then direct people back to your site. So on Pinterest, a pin can be linked directly to some page on your site, and then and so I look at all these different digital presences that you put together, every time you're posting to them and you're engaging with it, it's like you're putting a little bit more money in your digital piggy bank. And then, as you keep adding to that piggy bank, it grows.
Right. I like that.
So, that's that. And so it's not, and this, Will, one post may get you a client. You don't know, right? But it might. And so, you want to keep those going out there. But the big thing really is to use social media to grow your database, sending out the signals so that people are coming in and engaging with you and somewhere providing you that email address.
I love it. So let's talk about content a little bit. What kind of post would be great for window treatment? And I have some ideas that I'll mix in with what you come up with. But so my question, I guess, is more along the lines of, do I just share my latest sale? Do I share blogs? How do I mix those up?
Right.
I know the answer is to mix them up, but I'll let you answer that.
It is. That is the answer. We're done. No. So yes, you do want to mix them up. The last thing that people want to see is your sales. If you sound super salesy all the time, they will turn you off. So you want to think informational and then some sales. And what we do with our clients, so understand social media is very fluid and can change overnight. One of the things that we do is we schedule posts, but okay, let's take 2020 as an example. Every day, something crazy feels like it's going on, and we want to be, we want to take into account the climate at any given time. So sometimes we're like, look, the happy springy post is not going to work with what's going on right now. We got to take those down. So instead, what we do when it comes to content is we create kind of a skeleton content weekly calendar for our clients. And the idea behind it is so that we're making sure we're hitting all the spots that we need to hit. So if you've got a client that is blogging continuously, which we know is important for your website and your SEO, then we want to make sure that, all right, the blog goes up on, I am so sorry, I don't need that alarm. That's alarming. No, sorry. So the blog is going to go up every Thursday, let's say. So we want to make sure that we've got a post that goes along to like highlight that blog and send people over to it. You're going to want to do posts about any specials you have, about the work you do. Social media loves the human to human, so highlighting members of your team is a good idea. I would think with window treatments, this is actually a really, really good idea because you have people going into their homes. These people are coming into personal homes. So showing your team and like getting people comfortable with those people and maybe sharing, if they are willing, sharing a little bit of information. So if one of your people is going to run a marathon and they are raising money for charity, if they are willing to let you talk about it, that looks awesome. And also if your client is giving to charity, talk that up, highlight your, who you are giving money to. And then that also could get the charity some more money because people could become a part of that cause.
Yeah, I like that. Another thing that we have really good luck with across most all platforms is before and after pictures.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, people really, really like those. And those are a great way to drive people back to your site, right?
Also challenges. If you've had a certain challenge with, this window and here's what was going on with it and we were able to do, then that shows people I'm an expert. I know how to overcome the challenges. Or someone could be, I know we've all had this in our life where we're thinking, I talked to 3 different people and they told me that couldn't be done. Then I talked to this 4th guy and he's like, oh yeah, we can do that. Right. And so if you're showing the challenges you've overcome, that can put, the thought in the person's brain is, they know what the heck they're up to. Let's give them a call.
Right. So I got a question here from Peggy. Where should I place my hashtags on Instagram for more engagement? And I think before you answer that, let's back up and talk about hashtags in the first place.
What the heck is a hashtag? Okay. Well, where hashtags started was actually on Twitter. And it was a way for people to follow a conversation. And hashtags are really important. There is not a social media platform out there, I don't think, that's not using hashtags. LinkedIn even uses hashtags now, and that's all suit and tie-ish. But for your hashtags, what we do for our clients is we have whatever post we do for that, whatever the picture is, we add some words, and then we actually put some space between that and the hashtags. So just like a few lines of space and then the hashtags. Instagram used to want you to use crazy amounts of hashtags in order to organically grow, but now they don't like that anymore. So don't be putting 20 some odd hashtags on there anymore. Just be choosy. It's a good idea to pick a mixture of hashtags that are super, super popular, like maybe millions of people are using them, and then some hashtags that are not as popular. You kind of want to have a mix. And you can even, of course, make up your own hashtag.
Right. So pardon me for not being an Instagram expert, but I'm pretty sure that when you start to type a hashtag like window treatments,
yep,
it pops up and kind of tells you the popularity of that, right?
Exactly. There you'll get a list that will populate so you can decide which ones you wish to use, what makes most sense.
Okay. And what's a good number? 5 or 6?
I think 5 or 6 sounds, you could go up to like 8-ish and not be too annoying. But there was a time, and I can't remember the exact number. I think it was like 27, which that was like, oh, you should use these 27 hashtags. We were copying and pasting hashtags like crazy all the time. Like we can't type all these out all the time. Yeah. So, and then with that said, once you find some hashtags you feel are really working for you, put them in your notes on your phone. Like if you have an Apple iPhone and there's a notes place, you can just keep them there so you don't have to constantly retype them. You just copy paste them.
Nice. And you mentioned that hashtags are on most all platforms now. Should they be the same across anytime you do a post, just use the same ones?
Generally speaking, I think you definitely can. The only time that you want it, like Facebook is sort of a catch-all. Instagram tends to be more fun, personal, and then LinkedIn, of course, tends to be more businessy. So you just want to kind of cater a bit to the platform, like understand the languaging of that platform. And it's the same with the amount of words you use. Obviously, if you're on Twitter, you don't get to use tons of words, so you're going to have to take whatever post you want to put on Facebook. If you want to make it for Twitter, you'll just have to reword it a bit.
Yeah. I did have a comment here from Marie. I disagree with LinkedIn being all suit and tie and commercial. Professionals on LinkedIn are my ideal client. Good
so
point.
They are lightening up. I will agree with her. They are definitely lightening up. There is personal being shared on LinkedIn more and more. I've noticed that trend over the past few years. But it does tend to be more B2B. However, like we've worked with clients like personal trainers, and the people that are on LinkedIn are also going to want to work out and fit it into their busy schedule. So again, it's the words that you use to get to those people, even if it's like more of a B2C type business, you're going to want to be able to word it so that you're like, hey, busy executive, I can come and cook for you.
Right. I like that. Great point, Marie. Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, I was just thanking Marie too.
Oh, so let's talk a little bit about stories. How many stories should I post per day to increase engagement? Interesting that these questions are kind of around engagement again.
Right. Well, so on stories, once a day is great if you can get it to once a day. That might be asking a lot. What else is cool though is if you put your story on Instagram, it will automatically go to Facebook. So you're kind of double dosing there. But stories definitely get seen. So for every single one of our clients, we are doing stories daily, sometimes just a few times a week. A lot of this has to go with how much time do you have, right? Because you got to be conscious of that. Social media can feel very overwhelming because there's so much, and a lot of it feels like a waterfall. I mean, it's just so much information that is going into these platforms. And the last thing we need for people who, business people, is to overwhelm them more. So really get comfortable with your own cadence. Like, this is how much I can do right now. And then maybe hire somebody to help you if need be, or, you can gradually begin to increase that as you feel like, wow, this is really working. I really need to put more time into it. But, kind of go lightly on yourself, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah. So another piece of Instagram is Instagram TV, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh my gosh. So I really literally I have my people looking into this right now. I'm not going to be super knowledgeable about it. But yeah, just like we have live Facebook now, there's Instagram TV. And just like Will is going to be repurposing this content on many, many, many platforms, that's another platform we're going to need to pay attention to, because as we know, if we create content, marketers love to take content and use it as much as possible, because creating content, again, is timely, it takes time. It can be difficult to put together. So if you can take one piece of content and put it in many, many different places, obviously you're going to want to do that.
Yeah. So tell me, so I have to, just for Instagram, post a regular post on Instagram. Then I have a story. Now I have the video, which is TV. Is there one I should prefer over the other? Is one going to get me more eyeballs, more engagement, more attention?
Right now, Instagram is easier to build organically, but that's going to stop at some point, just like it did with Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So in 2016, we had Reach Apocalypse, and that's when all of a sudden your posts were not doing, and you're like, but I'm posting so great. Why isn't this working? Oh, you have to advertise, right? So when you advertise through Facebook, you can also advertise on Instagram. So, it's a good idea. But Instagram's going to be easier to grow organically. But the thing with Instagram that's so important is you have to think about your feed, because when people go look at you, they see all those nice little squares with all your pictures. You want the pictures to have some bit of consistency to them so that people are attracted to your feed and want to follow it.
Got it. And there's a difference between a personal and a business Instagram, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want to have a business one for the business account, obviously.
Unless you're a celebrity.
Right. I just got the personal one.
You know how it is, Will.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. What are stickers?
Stickers. What are stickers? For what platform are we talking about?
Instagram. I would
Instagram stickers. I don't use Instagram stickers.
Okay.
I would need to talk to my Instagram gal.
Okay. So I think
she's on that one.
Yeah. I think maybe that's something for the younger crowd, just to add.
That maybe. So mainly what I'm dealing with are businesses. And so, they're going to have more of a business feel to them than, we've got some retail clients, but most of our retail clients really want to focus on, here's the thing you can come in and buy. And they want that to be showcased.
Got it. Okay. So let's talk about advertising a little bit. I know that you can run Facebook ads, which can also show on Instagram.
Right.
Pinterest has kind of a archaic, probably not the right word, a dumbed down version.
I don't know that I would use Pinterest unless I was like doing, making, like right now, making masks. I would put that on Pinterest. But I think that so we love Facebook and Instagram for advertising. And the reason being is that you can reach a lot of people with very little money that you're giving to Facebook. The difficulty with doing Facebook advertising is working with Facebook Business Manager, which used to bring us to tears, but it is much better. I have to say they've really improved it. But when we do advertising on Facebook, and again, Will, I think you will be able to talk to this because you understand the ins and outs of it. We tend to do split testing so that we've got almost the same ad going out. And the whole idea of this in the beginning is we want to figure out what resonates with your audience. Do they like this picture better than this picture? Do they like this wording better than this wording? What calls to action really, catch people's attention? So when we start with a client, we're doing a lot of learning on the back end. The idea being at some point we hit that secret sauce. We know we can count on it. We're sending this out. This is the kind of response we get. And we can use an evergreen ad, for example, for a pretty long time until it stops performing, and then we have to zhuzh it up a bit. And then we can also, put out advertising that's timely, like if you have a webinar or something event that you want to make sure that people know about. There is a reason to go through an agency for such a thing, because an agency is going to have direct access to Facebook. So when COVID first hit, a lot of ads were not going through because they had the bots looking at them, not actual people looking at them. And the bots were just throwing everything out. And it was creating a huge headache for some people. But our clients, we could just automatically go back to our Facebook marketing expert and say, these are all getting knocked out. Why? They're perfectly fine. He's like, yeah, you're right. They're fine. Off we go, So there's a reason why you want to have that kind of access, because when you're working with an agency, they get to talk directly to Facebook and make all of it work better for you.
Yeah, we submitted quite a few appeals.
Yes.
On the Facebook ads, especially late March, early April, when everything first hit the fan.
Right.
And you're right. They were just kind of saying, no, you can't do that. And then in the middle of, it was pretty fluid like everything else at the time. Terms of service were changing.
Yep.
Now you can't say this, but you can't say these things, it was a little bit crazy.
There's a lot that goes into it. And one of the other things is that if you're working with an agency and they are working with a number of different clients, they're going to see the trends before everybody else, and so Facebook doesn't just come out and, Mark doesn't call me and say, Mich, I want you to know some changes coming down the path. Just be aware of this. We many times find out what the heck is going on by seeing the trends. Like, have you noticed that this is going on with all the pages right now? This must be a new thing. So, we can pivot quickly.
Yeah. For the same thing that SEO is kind of like that. There are no rule books for SEO. It is nothing but watching and learning when you do something, what changes, and then adjusting accordingly. So
exactly.
I got a question from Don, and he says, how can I get more followers on Instagram?
Well, a lot of it really does have to do with what you're putting out there. It has to do when it comes to growing organically, it has to do with what does my feed look like? What am I showcasing visually, right? So yes, you can show window treatments all day long, but there are companies out there that are doing really interesting things to set themselves apart. And it does take a lot more time. So you have to, again, consider, do I have the time to do this? But having a professional photographer that can set up what that window treatment looks like, that could go a long way. And so instead of just, here's the window treatment we did, maybe it's a window treatment and it's in an attractive room. The room has been set up, like interior decorating, awesomeness that people really are drawn to for other reasons. It could be including a cute little pet in every scene. You think of ways that will set it apart from everybody else, that the feed has such a unique feeling to it that people would want to follow.
Yeah. We've had kind of an interesting thing with the photos right now. So window treatments means you have to get into somebody's house to take the pictures and set the photographer up and all that. So a lot of our clients right now are just not getting those pictures because either the photographers don't want to go, the people don't want to let them into their house. But on the awning side, it's the opposite, right? It's outside.
Yeah, there you go.
you can go snap some pictures depending on the lighting, the time of day, that kind of stuff. So kind of just an interesting difference there between the two. What are your thoughts on using stock photos on something like your Instagram feed versus pictures that you've actually either done yourself or paid for?
It's going to be best for it to be your pictures. That's all there is to it. I mean, there just is. And, a lot of us that know the stock photo world will be like, that's a stock photo,
Yeah.
And so it's always best for them to be pictures that are yours and authentic to you and what you do. Another thought is to utilize your staff. If you've got somebody on your staff, we all have someone on our staff that just would be happy to be in front of a camera, has a bigger than life personality. If you've got one of those people that work for you, I mean, it could just be them in front of the awnings doing, funny stances or what have you. And that's where you might want to work, do like a brainstorming session.
Yeah.
It's an awesome idea to sit down with your people, or even bring in a marketing expert to do a strategy session around this, because that's where great ideas are born. We love ideas, and then even better when we implement those ideas. And so it could be something that would weave itself through all of your social media.
Makes sense. I'm going to pitch something to you that might be out of your realm of knowledge.
Oh, no.
I'm not sure, but
I will tell you this.
What about YouTube?
Oh, okay. YouTube is awesome.
Okay, that was easy.
YouTube is awesome. Okay, so again, if you don't know, YouTube is owned by Google. And I remember when Google acquired it, because you would Google something, videos never came up, and then the next day after they acquired it, videos are everywhere. So with YouTube, it's a way for you to educate your people, doing videos around educating them. Again, another way to show challenges and how you've overcome them, show your work. And with YouTube, when you get on the back end of that, there's a lot you can do. So there's transcription services. And remember, Google is the avid reader. Google reads more than anything else on earth. And so having the words that go along with the video will really help with SEO, right? Well,
that's great. Yeah.
And then the other thing is that I like when people do the closed captions, because I am not running around with earbuds all the time. And so if I'm standing 6 feet apart in the grocery line and I want to watch a video and I don't need the rest of the world to hear it, I can read the captions. So I think that's another important part. But building your YouTube channel is a great way to get people to pay attention to you, and another good way for content that you're putting out there, so that the gods of the internet, which really are Google and Facebook, are the big gods of the internet. They want you to participate. That's how they know you're alive and relevant.
Yeah. Yeah. A quick tip on the transcripts and the what is the other one where the words show up?
The closed captioning.
Closed caption.
Yeah.
Rev.com, REV.com is a great service. It's $1 a minute to do that. And just great. It'll even, if you upload a video to YouTube and then go to Rev and tell them the video you want, they will actually transcribe it, do the closed captions, and then put them on there for you. So you don't even have to take a file and go back and do all the extra stuff. They just take care of it, which is great. So
automation, yay, makes it easier.
I like that. How can we mix some of these video platforms together? Can I take, and I don't know if you know, because you don't know a lot about the IGTV, but can I do an IGTV, download that, put it on YouTube, kind of repurposed? You know how I like to do that stuff.
I don't know if you can download IGTV. You can download from Facebook.
Facebook
I know
Live.
for sure, because I've done that with my Facebook Live for podcasts. I can go in afterwards and I can download them, and then I can upload them to YouTube. You can get little snippets, take out, those key things that have been shared that you can use for marketing it so you're only showing, a minute or two of it on your post and then leading people over to the full video. There's a lot you can do with these videos, a ton.
Okay.
And the platforms love video, love it. And this is a good point. So it's one thing to upload your video to YouTube and then point to it. Of course, people, when they're on Facebook, they can see the video still on Facebook. But the way Facebook looks at it is, well, that's nice you're showing that video from our competitor over there at Google. How sweet. If you upload the video directly to Facebook, it will get more views. Kind of a pain in the butt, because now you've got different places that you need to add up together to see how many actual views you've gotten. But that's what they do.
Great point. I do that since I have two monitors. When I have a video to upload, I'm uploading one on YouTube and the other one on Facebook so that I can just copy and paste titles and descriptions and that kind of stuff. And I don't have to go back and what did I say? But so much easier that way to do that. But as far as video goes, I think it's still, even after all these years, it's still a huge secret, right? And maybe secret's not the right word, but for window treatment companies, we have a client who has 2 retail stores. You can go in and you can look at all the different options. They've got fabrics, they've got all these things, right? But he did a tour of the store,
Yes.
And it gets great engagement, right? Because even in the local area, people can kind of see what they're getting into before they get into it.
Yes, exactly. And there's so many different, and so when someone calls me and says, Mich, I'd like a video, there is a huge expanse of where you can go with videos. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I can show up with my iPhone and we can do something, or I can bring in a videographer and a whole crew, or I've got a 360 guy that can do the whole, map out your store and show, people can walk around in it digitally. And then there's certain parts where you can learn more information about something. There are so many ways to go with video right now. As far as it being a secret, I think it is a secret, but I think part of it is that people don't feel comfortable. And, because I can beg my clients, please, can you just do a 30-second to 1 minute? Now you've got an alarm going off. You're alarming. Some people just don't have a comfort level with being on video. I can do these things all day long, but I have my own staff begging me, can you just do a quick video? I'm like, okay. So I get it. I totally get it. But at the same time, they get seen. People comment on them, people engage with them, and people learn from them. And they don't have to be super long. And if you're going to be doing it on your own, just, find that perfect place where you've got a good background, you can do some lighting, the things that you need to do in order for you to, be able to show up at your best, even with an iPhone though. People are fine with that. They don't have an issue with it. They just want the good content and they want you to help them understand and learn.
Good point. Because that was one of the other questions was professional shots versus something done from an iPhone or a better phone like an Android.
And there's what Android? What? Please. So let's have a fight on that one. So, all right. Now I got all lost in this.
Right.
So professional video, it does have its place, especially if you want to have a showcase video for your website or a showcase video for your YouTube channel. It's a good idea to have like that professional one. And then the rest can be simple. Hey, here's me giving you some great advice.
Yep. Okay. Another thing for video, and again, this can go cross-platform as well, is something like product demo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, those are really, we had a client that did, there's something called a top-down, bottom-up shade where it moves on both ends instead of just from the bottom up. And so just doing a quick, 2-3 minutes, I guess, and then you can probably put it on multiple platforms that way.
Well, exactly. And that's the kind of thing people want to get a feel for what's new and how, how does this work, right? So when Will tells me, oh, here's what it does, my thought is, I would like to see a video so I could really understand. If you're visual like me, I'm much more of a visual learner. So being able to actually see it, and we all know YouTube is a huge search engine, just like Google, it's a huge search engine. And so having that video up there that people can actually understand what it looks like is awesome.
Yeah.
And then if you can get your customers to do a video testimonial for you, woo, that is gold. Give them a gift certificate for pizza or something.
Definitely.
And just get the good looking, get the cute family, talking about how much they love their window treatment. I mean, that's gold, because social proof is huge. When we do Facebook advertising, we many times will use testimonials. And they are great for getting conversions.
Yeah. I've come across a really cool tool called videoask.com. Don't know if you've seen that, but basically you can shoot questions, right? What was your situation before hiring us? What were you struggling with? What did we do to help you, right? Those kind of questions is what I would do.
Right.
And then you can actually send those questions through this app, I guess, to clients, and then they can actually answer the question that you just pitched to them on their phone, and it records it, and then you can turn that into a testimonial. So super cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and it's free, I think. I mean, there is a paid version, but I've done some, and totally free, which is pretty awesome. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And another thought on testimonials is because when you ask someone to, especially if you're asking them to write a testimonial, that's putting work on them many times, especially if they're not like, oh, I'm not really, So what you can do is you can have a list of, make up a list of 10 testimonials that you can give to them and say, tell me which one really fits you, and feel free to tweak it a bit to make it more yours. And then it's so much easier for them to do that for you.
Love it. I love it. I have a question here around workrooms. So we have clients that have workrooms, which is they build the draperies, they build the cornices, they actually construct these things. A little bit more the behind the scenes kind of stuff. So how can you use that on several different platforms, not just video?
So think about, people are curious. Behind the scenes is awesome. So when I do my podcast, for example, you see it almost from the beginning to the end, like before we actually start the podcast. And if I flub up on the introduction, I have to go again. And people like it because they get to see what it really looks like to create a podcast. Same with what, people have questions like, I wonder what that looks like. I wonder how they make that happen. So giving them that peek behind the curtain can go a long way. And again, it goes back to curiosity and education. I'm now educated. I understand how that all comes together, but also you get to show off all the cool stuff you can do. Yeah, it's very win-win-win.
Yep.
But yes, behind the scenes, we like
posting that across multiple platforms is okay?
Everywhere you can put it. Yeah. That kind of a thing would work everywhere. Right? Yeah. So yes, everywhere that you can put it is, again, adding a bit more to your digital piggy bank.
Right. Okay. I think this might be the last question. Mary says, is it possible to buy Instagram followers?
Don't do it. Don't. No. Yes, it is. It's possible to buy followers for just about anything. The issue is that, and they will tell you, yeah, these are for real. These are for real, but you don't know. It is better for you to be talking to people that actually want to talk to you, not people that just agree to go, all right, I'll go like them, even though I will never pay attention to them. I do not want window treatments. All right. I don't feel it's a good idea. Now, some people will tell you, oh, but then social proof wise, it looks great because they go and they're like, oh, they must be so popular. They have X many thousands of followers. But in the end, And I don't know that you're doing yourself a service when it comes to understanding the analytics behind all that you're doing. It could skew your analytics and you won't be getting a real true picture. So I kind of feel like what you're doing when you're like all about how many likes you have or followers, it's more vanity metrics. And marketers, we want to make sure that what's happening is very successful. So if I go to someone's Facebook page and, they say, oh, we have like 10,000 people that have liked our page, but I noticed they put up a post and like 2 people have said something about it. I know there's a bunch of fake followers.
Yeah.
It's not doing them any favors.
I have similar conversations around traffic. If you want 10,000 visitors to your website tomorrow, I mean, I can make that happen.
Easy.
Right? Yeah.
$5.
It's going to be useless, but if that's what you need, then that's fine. But you're right. It is a silly waste of money.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. I did just get a question from Deborah. How can I get verified on Instagram? So can you talk a little bit about what that means? And then if you know how to make that happen?
Okay, this is where I'm going to have to say I would have to talk to Emily, who works with me.
Okay.
She's our Instagram expert. She would be the person that's in charge of being verified, but there should be, and this is real, I mean, there should be information if we Googled that, but on Mich's end as the CEO of Hundreds Monkey, I'm like, hey, they need to be verified.
So I would assume having some sort of verification. I know Twitter does something similar with a check mark.
There's valid reasons for it. I mean, there's valid reasons for it. And I don't know all the ins and outs. It may be according to how many people follow you and all kinds of, there's some details I'm sure I'm not aware of that I would actually need to look up. But it's all doable. It's just following the guidelines of that particular platform.
Yep. Okay. And Facebook pages also have a method to get your business verified, and you really should do that. I think that's only a couple clicks, right?
Yeah, you should. And sometimes every once in a while a block will be put up, but you can overcome a lot of the blocks just once you get the actual human beings to talk to you on Facebook,
right.
Like the actual Facebook employees to talk to you. You can usually figure that out.
Yeah. Okay. Early on, you mentioned Facebook Business Manager, and I just wanted to, before we finish up, I wanted to make sure most business owners, window treatments, awning companies should probably go get a business manager account. That's not something they have by default, right?
Right. You have to set it up. And if you're working with a marketing company, I feel it's really important that when they set up Business Manager for you, that you're the owner of it. Yes. And then they just have access to it, because so many times we've had to clean up messes behind the scenes because some marketing company owns their business manager.
Yeah.
And the other thing is even if you don't think you're going to use Business Manager right away, I would highly recommend setting it up just in case you run into any issues that you have to like go back and forth with Facebook to figure out, because like COVID-19 is a great example. There were a lot of people that all of a sudden were like, wow, I am needed, right? I need to get on digital. I'm no longer being able to do the traditional marketing I was doing. I need to get on digital and I need to do it right now. And they didn't have anything set up, and it delayed them being able to get to market first. So having that all ready to go I believe it's an essential part of, your digital mix.
Yeah, totally agree. So the best scenario is you visit business.facebook.com and set it up yourself. And then you can give what they're calling partners, right? Mm-hmm. Partners access to that. So, which is nice because you can take it away at any point,
right?
If they're doing a bad job. Second best scenario is to have an agency set it up for you, but give them your login, let them log in as you, create it, and then add themselves on. So same end result, just two different ways to make it happen.
Yeah, if it gives you a headache, and yeah, it is kind of uncomfortable as an agency. Like, I need your personal Facebook login, and we're always like, we promise we won't do anything weird in there.
Right.
We just need to go in, set this up, and we leave. You
can
change your password if you're uncomfortable later, but we promise we won't go back in there once we get it set up.
Right. Okay. And again, that's business.facebook.com. You should definitely have that set up, even if you don't need it right away.
And it's also what you use to advertise on Instagram.
Okay. Yep. It also lets you add admins, people that to give different permissions, a lot of more robust things that you can do with it versus just having a Facebook page, right?
Well, and boosting a post, because boosting is a good thing to do to grow likes. That's about it. It's really better to run ads through Facebook Business Manager. It helps you to grow upon all the advertisement that you're doing. It gives you better analytics. Please do that.
Yeah. I have a friend that says likes don't pay the bills.
They don't. They're nice, but that's what, I mean, likes are great, but what you really, really want is leads and then conversions.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, thank you for all of the awesome things that you've shared with us
Thank
today.
you guys. Thank you all for being here.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your company and how anybody can get a hold of you?
Sure. So our company is 100th Monkey, and the way to get to us is our website is 100thmm.com. My name is Mich. It's Mich Hancock, and there's not a lot of Miches out there to my knowledge, so I'm pretty easy to find. But our company specializes in social media marketing and how to really make those platforms work for you. So yeah, that's what we do.
And you mentioned strategy sessions earlier. Tell me quickly about those.
Awesome. Yes. So we, outside of social media marketing, we also, what has happened over the years is we've had a lot of clients that were just like, can you do all my marketing, instead of just this one part of it. And so we have grown to where we do a lot of different types of marketing, and we have wonderful partners like Will Hankey. And so the strategy sessions can be anything from what we call a whiteboard strategy session, which is about an hour long, and that's to overcome a particular challenge. Like if this one challenge just gets in your way and you got to overcome it, let's sit down and get this done in an hour. Then we have strategy sessions that may last several hours at a time if it's like an all-encompassing kind of strategy. Like where do we need to be? Why do we need to be there? What are we hoping to accomplish? It could be anything from I'm going to be doing this digitally to I'm also going to be doing direct mail, or I need to advertise in particular publications. We'll look at everything, kind of come up with what is the perfect mix for you. What is your messaging, your visuals, your branding, you name it.
Okay. And you can do those virtually, I would hope.
I can. I live on Zoom now.
Don't we all? So
yeah, the new way.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I definitely appreciate all the fantastic things that you've shared with us today. And definitely appreciate it. If anyone does want to reach out to you, 100thmm.com is a great place to do that. And if you have any any questions about SEO, marketing for window treatment or awning companies, we are at wtmarketingpros.com. And listen, thank you again. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I appreciate you jumping on today.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Mich.